Hello there, Qckslvrslash, and today dear Mr. Frodo is back, and this time in the Tier 6 Premium Japanese destroyer, the Shinonome. And this is the DD that you earn for completing the new in-game mission tree honorable service, I believe it is titled. And I was pretty excited they put a game or a ship at the end of the line, and it's nice that it's unique. It's, you know, something no one had until they complete this. And I like when they do that. Because as much fun as it is to have, you know, 6 or 7 different reskins of the Miyoko, ultimately it's a ship I already had, and the same can be true of in-game missions for some of the premium vessels. Now, I'm not complaining about that. I really do like that Wargaming does that, you know. Sometimes there are some pretty difficult missions, but the fact that you can earn something that otherwise would cost money means not all the content's gated, and I do wish they'd do it just a little more, because some people just can't afford or choose not to spend a ton of money on this game. You know, yes, that is how they support themselves, but at the same time, it's nice when they do go, hey, put in the work, you can have this ship. But it's even better when it is a unique ship. And looking at the Shinonome, I was very excited for it. 3 triple tube launchers, 6 guns, good concealment, hit spells for a pretty decent ship. And, well, dear Mr. Frodo is gonna show it off for those of you who have not yet made it through the tree yet, like myself. So you can see a bit of a widespread with those torpedoes, kind of just a maybe I'll hit something, maybe I won't, and he's got an Omaha kind of charging straight in, and already I'm noticing really good reload on those torpedoes. The first ones are just running out, and it's only 15 seconds until the next set is available, which is going to be good because honestly, I think this Omaha is getting himself in way over his head. And it's a little unfortunate, but at the same time, it's going to be fun to watch him burn. You can see clearly the Omaha doing a big turn to probably fire torpedoes straight into the smoke, because it's certainly not to avoid the edge of land that he ran into. And, well, a little unfortunate that dear Mr. Frodo didn't get torpedoes off, but, you know, he's setting up, he kind of realizes it and goes, hey, I think I have a chance here to torp something. Pops his engine boost and is actually backing up around the corner in order to pede Warrior Samurai this Omaha, but by the time he's going to get there, it's going to be too late. The Atlanta finishes him off, and, well, now he's got to figure out something else to try to hunt down and kill. And personally, right now, I'd be going for Bravo. Looks like one cruiser from the enemy team maybe went there, and you definitely have some cruiser support at the south side, so you can afford to get in there, and you'll have some gun support. And those are just kind of all things that you've just got to be continuously thinking about when you're choosing where on the map to go. You know, in your DD, are there carriers? If so, maybe you want to stick kind of in a, at least close enough to an AA umbrella that if you see planes coming your way, you can get into cover of friendly cruisers AA. Because, well, the low tiers, you know, most tend not to get killed by aircraft carriers. As you get to the high tiers, the carrier players are very talented for the most part, and you know, a destroyer's easy food, especially for some American dive bomber squadrons. It just seems they can one-hit you. And, well, that Bud Yoni is making an interesting decision. Comes to a complete stop there. Maybe he sensed there was torpedoes in the water, but I think a turn would have worked much better, because now he's been sitting in the open much longer. He's lucky he somehow still got 28,000 hit points. And, well, Mr. Frodo is going to make sure that there's a few more, lighting 2 fires, a couple volleys there, and you can see the damage starting to add up already. Almost 16,000. Gets another volley off, and another kind of uncontested cap. Took the first one sitting in his smoke, and he's going to get the second one. And they're about to lose Charlie, but hey, they've picked up Bravo, so, you know, it's still one cap apiece. And, you know, both teams have lost 3 cruisers, so it's pretty even. There is a buddy somewhere on significantly lower health, and I think each team's probably got a pretty good idea of where everyone else is sitting. Mr. Frodo definitely needs to be a little careful of that plane that was just spotted. You don't want to run under it, have your torpedoes spotted or yourself spotted by one, and just kind of gotta get into a position where you can get these torpedoes into play, because, you know, any DD, you may be a gunboat, but your torpedoes matter. You may be a torpedo boat, but your guns matter, you know. Both help you do damage. And if you're playing to the strengths of one exclusively to the detriment of the other, you're not going to have the solid kind of games that, you know, some DD players manage to string together. And ultimately, they've kind of mastered both parts of their ship. You know, if you've become an expert at throwing torpedoes, well, there's ways to negate that, and then if you don't know really how to use your guns effectively, you're not going to be able to make up some of that damage. And vice versa. So Mr. Frodo returns to Charlie to take back his cap, ends up seeing a Kiev, and, you know, much better detection range. He gets to choose the engagement on his own terms and fire the first volley, and that can be big in a destroyer fight. Gets a fire on the Kiev, he has to put it out, the Kiev pops his smoke, and, well, just swaps to widespread to just flood that smoke with every torpedo he can. And because the Kiev was the only thing nearby, despite having fired and increased his detection out to 9.9, nothing could see him. So he's free to capture Charlie. The Kiev's smoke doesn't go all the way in, so the Kiev has no way of contesting this, and, well, it looks like a Fuso's turning around and may become the next victim of Mr. Frodo. Or, I should say, first victim, not next. Looks like the torpedoes are passing safely through the smoke, and of course the second I say something is the second one hits. And you can only assume that was the Kiev. You wish it was a kill, but based on where the Fuso was, doubting it was that, but 15 seconds from now, he's going to have more peds, and hopefully the timing works out that pretty much the second those torpedoes are ready, that Fuso is coming around the corner, and I can't even begin to fathom what this Fuso player thought he was achieving here. Now he does turn away a little bit. Frodo tries to get a kill shot in on the Kiev, and Mr. Frodo, I think if you had just a bit more patience there, you know, I know it can suck to try to wait for a ship in that close, but I think you could have had the torpedoes off and not had to have smoked in here. But the Fuso's continuing forward. You can see that marker ticking back, so he's got his engines in reverse. And, well, battleships do not accelerate well. Mr. Frodo is sure to make sure none of those torpedoes hit the land, and that battleship is a goner. He's got a Colorado coming around the other side, and somewhere nearby is a Kiev that is going to be a very easy ship to sink. So I think Frodo makes a good decision here, a pretty easy decision in my mind, turns away, gets out of the smoke. You can't sit and camp in your smoke. It's how you get caught out, and probably would have gotten caught by that Kiev. I can only imagine he launched torpedoes, gets the kill, and, well, there's all the torpedoes. So it just goes to show that, you know, while the Kiev wasn't spotted, just a bit of good instinct that, you know, maybe I've been sitting here a little long. You know, a ship with some torpedoes could be behind me. It's time to get moving. And he couldn't have timed it any better. So right here, the use of guns is acceptable, but I personally would just hold fire, let those 20 seconds elapse, and go dark. You've got really good torpedoes, you have a couple battleships that are kind of both driving in more or less straight lines, trying to close. Being invisible is the advantage here. And right as that detection drops, he does eat some damage from the Bayern, but he's going to get away with it. Unfortunately, he's got to be careful because no more smoke. So that puts you in a tricky situation here. You either go charging around the corner, confident that you know how to kind of stealth ambush a battleship and hope that the battleship doesn't dodge you or just ace you, or maybe the safe option is turn away, kite the island, keep the Bayern on the opposite side, and live to fight a little later. But I think partly because their team is ahead, Frodo decides to go for it. Comes around the corner. The Bayern isn't actually looking at him, which surprises me. The secondaries certainly are. And this is always tricky. You have to very carefully time when you launch those torpedoes. And, well, things are going about as good as they could despite losing over half his health. The Bayern fires, doesn't take him out, and, well, it's all over from there. Picks up the kill. His team's got all the caps, they're well ahead on points, and there's just that pesky Colorado to the south to deal with. So the question is, does Frodo get his torpedoes and guns into the game to put just a little more damage onto the field and, well, kill some speed? Is he gonna avoid the ground? And the answer is no. Luckily, doesn't seem to have gotten too caught up on it. The ship kind of just scraping its way, and I can just cringe thinking about what just happened to the hull of that ship. I feel bad for the engineers today. And I'm just gonna point something else out in chat. The other team's congratulating them on the comeback. The guy's a little upset, thinks the New Mexico got lucky, but he still congratulates Frodo's team on the comeback, and I like seeing that. There's so much salt and hatred in this game. A lot of people complain about it being toxic, and any multiplayer game is going to be like that. But, the power's in your own hands. If you just decide to be polite and congratulate people on good plays, whether they kill you or, they're on your team and it helps you out, it just makes it a better place to be. Ultimately, one battle's just one battle. A lot of us have a lot of time sunk into this. You're just going to lose some, and they're going to be atrocious. It happens, but when the enemy players make a legitimate good play or come back from a fight you thought you couldn't lose, rather than complain about your own team being, the worst players in the universe, they're never going to win a game, just congratulate the other team. Be gracious in defeat. So, Life09, good job. And, well, this is going to be a defeat, because reasonably there's no way this Colorado survives all the HE coming his way. And, well, those shells coming in, that wall of torpedoes, surely one has to hit out of them. There it is, picks up the Confederate, is up to 125,000, and now it's kind of just up in the air who actually gets the final kill. You can see the Colorado figures that the Shinonome is the easy kill. The guns were coming this way, and, well, Frodo just reacts, goes stern on. It actually makes you pretty hard to hit. The Colorado underleads with the first one. Second one, bad dispersion. And that's pretty much all the Colorado is going to get to do this game. He's burning down 2,000 hit points. Any second now, the shell that kills him is going to land. And I thought Dear Mr. Frodo did a great job that game. 491,000 credits, 6,700 experience, Confederate, 2 devastating strikes, 127,000 damage in a tier 6 is very impressive. 86 hits with those guns, 11 torpedoes, 3 kills, 3 fires, and then really worked for the caps. 2 solo caps, 1 assist, 2 defenses of the caps, and that all adds up to a victory. And it was nice to see a replay with the Shinonome. I haven't received it yet. I'm still slowly working my way through the missions. And I know a ton of people have it, and I think they just, focus a little more. I just kind of go out and play. The missions happen when they happen, and eventually I hope to have this ship. And with experience like that, at the end of the battle, 2,431, very respectable, top of the team. No question that he played a good game. So thank you, Dear Mr. Frodo, for sending in another replay. To anyone else who'd like to send one in, Qckslvrslash@gmail.com. And if you enjoyed this, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing. I'm almost at that 1,000 subscriber mark. I may already be there. I don't know. This is a couple days into me being gone on my road trip. So I'll try to drop in and check the channel, respond to your comments while I can. Until then, you'll just have to put up with these videos I've pre-uploaded. Anyways, until that time, I'm Qckslvrslash, and I'll have another one up for you guys later.